on behalf of the Mindalia.com team, welcome. Today, Inés Drechsel is joining us to tell us about resilience is the secret to success. Inés Drechsel is an specialist therapist in hypnosis, Reiki, NLP, and team and leadership coaching. So now let's not delay this any further and let's say welcome to Inés Drechsel. Hello Inés, how are you?
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, who knows? So I'm very pleased to be here with you. So thank you. Nice to be here.
It's a pleasure for me sharing this space with you, Inés. So thank you very much for participating with us tonight, today, in the morning, in the afternoon. Never know, as you say. So whenever you want, you can start. I'm going to be here listening to you, very, very patient.
Okay, thank you for this time also. Thank you everybody who is watching. Today I'm going to talk about something I really love, and that's resilience. A lot of people ask always, well, what is this meaning? What does this mean, resilience? That's a capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. In other words, toughness. And I have to say, I had to go through a lot of things. And maybe that's the reason that I'm working as a coach. And also I have the resilience. I have to put the resilience in many situations in life. We are right now in a situation with the coronavirus. And that is also something where a lot of people are going through this situation, and maybe they have to deal with this toughness, or they maybe realize that they don't know how to deal with this situation. So first of all, I said the definition, but also when do we learn it? Is that something we can learn it later? Is that something that we learn when we are kids? And yes, this is something we learn from our parents, first of all. So our parents, learning by doing, the kids see what the parents do, and they just imitate. That's very common. That's very usual, that they used to see absolutely everything what the parents do. So sure, we learn it from our parents, but that doesn't mean that if we didn't see that with our parents, because maybe our parents were depressed, were always negative, things like that, that doesn't mean that we cannot learn it later, okay? So what can we do if we have kids, for example, with resilience? How can we tell them or show them, even if we didn't learn that? First of all, I always tell everybody when they try to come to my counseling and they maybe say to me that I need to, for example, do something with the kids, let's say it this way, I always say, no. First of all, the parents have to come to my counseling. So what do we do wrong, or what should we do, for example, with our kids? First of all, when we overprotect them and we mean it good, but we want to protect them of all the troubles. That's for sure something that we do naturally. But this avoiding the problems doesn't help the kids finally. So other thing, for example, is give them all what they want. So they don't cry, so they don't make troubles, so they get everything, every moment, what they want. They don't have really then charges because they get everything what they want. So they don't need to make even any effort. They don't have the situation that, okay, what should I do so that I get my bicycle, or I got my new game? Who knows, no? So that is also one of the reasons that we really, really we shouldn't do with the kids. And we should really let them, in this case, let them get it that they have to do some efforts to finally get these goals, for example. So overprotecting is really, really very bad. I know some people, they really live in our days in bad depressions. They live also with mental disease. And the reason was because the parents used to be always trying so that they don't suffer. And life finally, one day the parents are not there, and one day they have to stand on their own. So that doesn't help, nothing. So also trying to stimulate them every moment, also with input from TV, extreme input from TV. And nowadays with social media, some kids, they have even with 6, 7, 8 years, they have already a phone, they have already an iPad, whatever, and they don't need to be bored. Let's say it this way, because really they get bored. They get very bored. But we think that well, maybe it's also because it's more comfortable. They don't make so many troubles. They are distracted in a kind of way, but they are not bored. It's also very good that sometimes they just get bored, that they have to find out, okay, what can I do now? And then they start to use the imagination how to get out of this situation, for example. So it's really also something very, very good that they sometimes get bored. Okay. And sometimes they have troubles, so they have to find the solutions. And when they find the solution, really is very good that you say that you give him a prize or something, that you encourage him for what he has done so that he could resolve the problem on his own. That is something I appreciate, that I learned that from my parents, that they showed me, okay, you have to find out. Sometimes I felt a little bit lost, but then when I found the solution, or when this kid finds this solution, he feels so great, and he sees that he's really good in this. And then he wants a little bit more, and he wants a new challenge, and he wants a new challenge to get. And that is something what is really helping this kid to be with self-confidence, to love himself, because he knows he's capable to do all this. No, so that is another reason that is so important, that we really, really help the kids when they are just, well, we can start from the absolutely beginning with little things when they are 1 year, 2 years, and so on. No, so then also for sure, and that's with this what I'm talking, the healthy relation with the parents. So it means one side, that the kids have to deal with their own problems. Sometimes that doesn't mean that a bigger problem, but problems maybe with other friends or something, so that they get along with this, or with brother, sister, however, so that they have to deal with the situation, and they have to find, who knows, some solution to get along, because that's also like life. It's just so simple. This brother, this sister, maybe you don't like him, or maybe you have some troubles, but you will have the same in the future with other people too. So you have to be able to deal with this, or with a neighbor, or who knows what. No, so that helps the kids to really build a very good structure. So then also with a good, healthy relation with the parents, that means that also they know that they always can come back, that the parents love them, that they have, in a kind of way, love, independence, but also they know they have the protection. So they are not absolutely lost, but they know they have to be also independent. I always say the sentence, I like to think that if one day is, I don't know, they live in an island, who knows where, alone, that they just be able to find food and to survive. That's like something we should have in mind, even if it's just a little bit weird, but that is how we should help them, that we are not going to be always there. Something can always happen, and also they will live on their own one day. So they have to be able in the future to live on their own. No? So sometimes we make, for example, the question if the resilience is a problem in society. for example. This is also happening right now. I live in Spain. I'm German. Well, I'm married with an American, so it's a little bit weird, everything. But it's something really all over the world that it's not only social, because sometimes the kids, they have a role model. This can be a grandfather, this can be uncle or aunt or whatever, a good friend of the family that is for this kid, for this person, the role model. Sure, if we have much more models, good models with resilience, we, for sure, this kid has more to choose. If in this family only they have one person, even if it's this role model, okay, but that can give the kid a stability for sure, and this self-confidence. So this role model, it would be ideal that is the parents, father, mother, sometimes a brother, sister, older brother, sister, but this gives them a self-confidence that this person is able to get what he wants and to resolve the problems, because we have success and sometimes we don't have it. But the point is how you deal with the situation. Now we have a situation with this virus where we all are having to deal with an absolutely new situation. Resilience is, for example, for me is an extreme good example that some people, they had here in Spain, they had a bar, a restaurant, they cannot work anymore after 15 years, 20 years, who knows how many years, they have to close the business after all these years. And now they are opening a new store with mask, for example. But wow, I think that's great that they find in this situation and now they have success with this. They don't stay there whining, crying that the situation is so terrible and so on. They are not only in the victim role, no. They just go, they just think, what can I do? Sometimes you have to move, sometimes you have to change your job, sometimes you have to do whatever is needed right now. And that's exactly the point. So, how can I help my kid, for example, to get better resilience? Well, he needs to know that he or she is able to resolve the problems. How can he do that? Well, for sure, just finding the solutions on their own. So at the beginning, with little things, what he's able to do. And then he or she is going to find biggest challenges and going through them. Great. If you also tell him how good he did that, how good that was, that is exactly what we need, so that he feels, okay, this is good. That was perfect, no, in this case. So that is the best way. Then also this pricing, this gets the kids more confidence and self-security, this love, this motivation, so that they know that they can really get along with all this. Another thing, what is really very good is, for example, in bedtimes, this bedtime stories, tell the kids the stories. It's funny because, for example, the stories, they used to be sometimes really cruel, some stories, no, bedtime stories about I don't know, but I remember all the German tales. They were really sometimes with a wolf, for example, and the wolf eats the grandmother and so on. But the thing is not that. In these stories, usually you have one person who's really very brave, who finds a solution, and finally who kills, or however, the bad man in the story, the bad situation in the story, and with the final happy end, for example. So that is really very good for them to build up the resilience since they are real little kids. There are so many beautiful stories nowadays. They talk about bullying, they talk about um, every type of people, so that they also learn other things like respect, like getting along with everybody. So I think that's really very good for the kids from the beginning. I think maybe we have lost that a little bit, so that we don't make it so much like in other times where TV for kids was only 1 hour, maybe two, not more than that. We had only 2 or 3 channels. I remember that also. And mommy used to tell the kids, or the father used to tell the kids the story about Rotkäppchen in German. Sorry, I don't know now the name in English, or others like Cinderella and who knows, and so on. And always when this person gets through, gets along, finally he can or she can go through the story and finally with a happy end. So that is something really what takes us in the heart to build this good relation with the parents on one side, these memories on one side, and on the other side also a strong personality. So for this bad times, crisis, and so on in life, that they always try to find with being brave, finding solutions, and so on. So in this case, this other thing, for example, is a positive attitude. That is so important, a positive attitude from the parents. Being negative or positive, that's exactly the point. And also the fear. A lot of people live always with fear. We live in a society based on fear. Fear if you do this, fear if you don't do that, then you're going to die. And we see that every day. And not to be fearful doesn't mean that we have to be irresponsible. We can be responsible on one hand, but don't be afraid of everything what's maybe going to happen in life. We can just trust, have confidence, have self-confidence, and have confidence, trust, belief, call it however you want, that you think, okay, things also can go good, not only bad. Don't watch too much TV, for example. Okay. So if you think always world is terrible and everything, the kids will, even if you don't tell that, if you don't talk about that, the kids will feel it. They feel the fear, and they are really very sensitive for this kind of things. So what can we do? We can focus always on solutions. We have a crisis, we have a situation, who knows what is going on right now in all these families, all these stories, personal stories. I talk with people the whole day, and I know every kind and type of stories, but focus on the solution. Also, how can I learn it? That's also may be very good. Yeah, for example, because some people maybe think, okay, but I never learned that because I had very negative parents, I had very negative situation at home, who knows what. Well, but I can learn that too later. That means that's also, for example, what I used to do, no? That means to be, for example, more positive. There are so many techniques in our world, like meditation, like, for example, doing some sports. Some people, they maybe with this, they can be more positive, going out, feeling again the sensations, a hobby, something what really makes you feel good, for example. And then also um, in the crisis, for example, focus in the objective. Don't focus on the negativity. Don't turn the TV off. Maybe watch the TV 2 minutes, 5 minutes in the morning or whenever, but only once a day. Don't let the TV always run and run, because first of all, they repeat it over and over. And second is something what really don't help you to get along with this situation right now, for example. And also accept the problem. Why not? Sure, accept the problem. The problem is there, whatever it is. And on the other hand, recognize your limits and don't be afraid, again, afraid to ask for help. Ask for help. There are specialists everywhere, somebody who really can connect with you. And that is also very important. Sometimes some things are too much for me. Some things which you really just cannot handle with. I had to bring my car to the mechanics. I cannot do that. So I prefer that there's something what a professional makes, because I have no clue. This is the same. Our brain, we have sometimes, don't be afraid to bring it to the mechanics. You can do it on your own, maybe, but maybe this will take you like months, years, or who knows, whenever. Sometimes with a very good professional, it can take you just a short period of time, and then you're over it. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Focus always on the solution. That's what we do, for example, in fire walking and all these techniques, glass walking, fire walking, you name it, because we don't focus on the fire you're to go through. No, you focus on what you're getting after. In this high impact techniques, the thing is, you are going through a very extreme situation, what is almost like sometimes in life in crisis. And then when you go through and when you see this, you are realizing that you have this resilience still in you. So you are able to realize, to feel it, to have this feeling that you went through that with a good course, for example. And then after that, okay, you know you have it there. And this really sits in you. So where do you want to be? That's your focus. And the crisis, you have the control of your life. Absolutely. It's not the life who possessed you and you cannot do anything. Really stop being a victim, because that is also a situation. A lot of people, sometimes I think they like to tell that they are a victim. And no, we are not victims. And no matter what happened, we are not victims. We are owners of our own life. There are a lot of solutions. There are a lot of things to do. Even it can be very hard, but surround, for example, at the beginning, yourself with good vibes, with good influence, love, have humor, find things. Sometimes, sure, we don't have humor because maybe everything is terrible. But even then, try to find always focus, 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 always in solution. Don't be afraid to get help. So please get out of the victim mode. Take action now. Get out of this victim stories, of this being sorry for yourself for all what happened in your life. So when you feel, sometimes also what helps, when you feel really sorry for all what happened with you, with yourself, maybe something what can help you very much, that is helping others, because then you don't focus anymore on your own problems. You start to focus really on going out, and you see also other stories, and you see that you're really not alone. You see through other stories, sometimes better, sometimes worse, that you're really not alone. So take action and do something now and ask for help, because that is really not so bad. Ask for help, they can help you. So I don't know, I think this is in a kind of way what I want to tell you about resilience. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you like that. And I would like to, well, to have questions and to be able to answer them. And sorry for my accent and things like that. So I do
Your
my best.
accent was
Okay.
perfect, Ines. Thank you very much for sharing all this important information and your knowledge with us. Your accent is perfect, and I think people knows we aren't English, we are Spanish, or you are from Germany. I think so, isn't it?
Yeah,
You are
is
from
right. Exactly.
Germany, and we are trying to do it our best. So this is working perfectly. Thank you very much, as I said. And now, if you agree, we are starting with the questions of the people watching us. I'm starting with one of Carmen. She's asking from Spain, and she says, you told about overprotecting our children, but how can we manage the feeling of fear that something bad will happen to them? That's a very mommy question.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a mommy too, so I know exactly that is something really terrible because we know how many terrible things are outside. Exactly. Well, this is a very, very good question. I like that she asked, Carmen just asked that, so I think it's very good. Well, first of all, we have to work. It's what I said at the beginning. First of all, we have to work on ourselves and our fear. Where does this fear come from? Because probably this fear came from our mother, because she also was maybe negative and so on. And like I also say, I don't let my kids play with the power, for example, the plug, for sure not, because that's very dangerous. So it's with common sense, one thing. And the other thing, it's like, let's say it this way, it's like you see your kid moving, you're behind, you're watching, okay, just in case something happened, but you let the kid go, taking a look, but you let the kid go so that he experience his own thing. Because when we don't let him go, we are in a kind of way showing, no, you cannot do that on your own. And that gives myself a kind of way, okay, so I'm not able, I cannot be sure without mommy, but mommy one day is not going to be there. So let's say it this way.
That's very important to understand that someday, sorry, our parents aren't going to be here. And as you said before, I think my dad did this very good. So I hope this helps, Carmen. Let's continue with more questions. Catherine from the United States says, resilience is also about being able to grieve. In these times of pandemic, how to overcome the death of a loved one? That's a very good question.
Absolutely, a very, very good question. Actually, I had to overcome the same situation last year, in January last year. So, yes, this is very good. We have to think about this. First of all, we have a process. If somebody dies, we have a process and we have to go through this process. Okay, this process is we don't deny it, we don't accept it, we are angry, we're mad, and so on. So we have to let these emotions also go out. But also, for example, all what helps you to, because time in this case heals, even if it takes his time, it heals. So what can we do? Do whatever you can to pass the time. So fill this time with positive things. Go to dance, go to run, even if you really have no, really you're not in the mood to do all that, but do it. Go with friends. At the beginning, for sure, you have no sense of humor whatsoever, but do it. Go to make a lot of things, a lot of action, so that you really let this time pass and cry whenever you want and shout whenever you want and let all these emotions go out. That's very, very important. So it's a very, very good question. And think about that. You have your process. Everybody has a process. They say 1 year, but it can be more, it can be also less. But if you do it faster, much better. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer. And we hope this is helpfully for you, Catherine. Let's continue with Joshua from the United Kingdom. He says, And what about the grown-ups? Can we also learn to be resilient when we get older?
I think we can learn everything. And I had this really, I saw a person with 80, 90 years, and he learned to be resilient. He learned to be a lot of things what who cannot imagine. So yes, I think you always can. It's just to get them point what makes you try to focus to get out of the situation. Because first of all, if this person really wants to, because what I cannot do is to change another person. I only can change myself. That is very important that we really have this in mind. We cannot change others. But if this person wants to change, yes, there are some ways that this person finds to start. For example, of all these things, what I said, for example, to start to be resilient. Maybe you start because you find something like walking, like doing something positive, turning the TV off, or having some friends. Maybe this is the point that you can get out of the situation of having not don't having resilience. So this would be, for example, a way. Which is the way out? Friends, doing something, turning the TV off, whatsoever. Thank you.
I'm giving you another question from Germany in this case, and she's called Lorena. She says, I know giving our children mobile phones or computers from a very young age isn't good for them. But how to deny them when all their friends are using them? That's also a very interesting question.
Absolutely, because this question, I had that too, absolutely. And I could get along that my kids didn't have a PlayStation, okay, so far. And that is true. But then our society demands really that we have that, because if not, we are really a strange person in the group, absolutely. So yes, we can, for example, at the beginning, depending how old they are, at the beginning, it's just control it so that they cannot have the phone and all that, control it, check it. I had to check it, maybe till the 13th, and then it's over. Okay, you cannot check it anymore. But yes, check it in a kind of way that they cannot have it when you are having lunch, when you have dinner, absolutely forbidden. You have it only for 1 hour after homework. So control this kind of things, because that is very important. And also that they learn also how to use it, the dangers what all the social media has. That's very good that somebody tells them, that they go to a course they are offering everywhere. I know in Germany they offer that also in Spain. So that would be very good that they learn from even the police. They came to our school and they showed them how to use the social media. That's very good and very important, so that they know how to use it, but also for the good and for the bad things, so that they are clear and they know how also the dangers. It's being conscious is what I said at the beginning, not being crazy. I have no fear. No, I know what's going on. Information, a lot of information.
Thank you very much, Ines. Let's continue with another question. Olivia from Spain says, I am afraid of many things, but many, many things. How can I overcome my fears? Do you have some exercise to work on it?
There are exercise for sure. There are techniques. I also like, for example, we had that, I think the last time, I like Ho'oponopono, for example, that helps. I like, because this is like a mantra, what we tell us every day, every now and then. So that helps us, for example, to get relaxed. It helps also a lot of meditations. We have to start to have self-confidence, and also do things what really gives you the self-confidence. So start to get overcome your own fears, starting with the little things, going through, resolving that, the next, and so on. No, because you can get over your fears. That's something for sure, but you have to go step by step. So things like that, starting to do things, taking the car, driving, who knows what, and always with a secure, a sure zone, a sure area. That's what we, for example, do when we do a fireworking, that we always make it sure. So there are this kind of techniques. There are a lot of wonderful books, but I think sometimes this meditation, sometimes they have, you can find a lot of them, like 1 week, that you start to believe in yourself, love yourself, because sometimes this is the origin of all this. Thank you.
Let's go with the last question. Luca from Italy says, I never feel capable of anything. How do I start to value myself more to be resilient?
Well, there is, for example, a wonderful thing. There's 21 days that you start to change. And these 21 days is every morning you put, well, first of all, you make a list of what is your ideal situation. What do you really want? And I'm talking something realistic, something that you know also in time that you're able to do that. I mean, well, you put all your dreams, all your wishes, and then let's say what is the most important, the first of all, and how long is it going to take you? So you take this, let's say, for example, I want a new job, okay? And then every day, every morning, you write down, I want to get this new job, okay? And then after that, what um, I'm going to do today to get this new job. So you really write down all what you're going to do. Maybe I'm going to visit an English course. Maybe I'm going to have, I don't know what, send some resumes, however. So you start every day with this focus, with this goal, what you want to have after all this time. And you will see even that, this little thing, every day, 21 days. And then also in the evening, you say thank you for all what happened in the day. In the morning again, your focus, your goal, what are you going to do today for this? And the third is, what am I going to do better? What I, maybe in the evening, what I didn't do like I would like to, or I want to make it better tomorrow. That is in the evening. And being thankful for all what happened. When you realize what really is going on, wow, then you're surprised, because life is sometimes much better than we really think.
That's a very, very good phrase. Life is much better than we think. Thank you one more time, Ines, for your generosity. And let me please tell you about the people that has been with us today, because they joined us from countries like Costa Rica, Spain, Germany, the United Kingdom, the United States, or Italy, sorry, because I'm just mixing Spanish and English now. Italy. And of course, I'm giving you a few seconds to say goodbye. Or do you want to share some final thoughts with us?
Well, the final thought is finally also resume. Please stop being a victim. Take the life in your hands. It's your option. And when you feel so sorry of your life and of yourself, then maybe help others and start with this. But really, that will stop being a victim. We are responsible for our lives, not the rest of the world. So that's my thought for this. And thank you, absolutely, everybody, to be there, to give us this opportunity. And I hope that you joined that too. Okay? So thank you.
Thank you very much, Ines. It has been a real pleasure sharing this space with you. Now I have to say goodbye, but to you, dear friends of Mindalia, remember that you can join us through YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, VK, and Vaun Live. We also want you to know that you can enjoy all our content in Mindalia Radio 24 hours of conscious content. And you can find us on our website www.mindaliaradio.com. Before saying goodbye, we also want to remind you that Mindalia.com is an international non-profit organization. You can collaborate with us by liking our content, leaving us a positive comment, subscribing to our channel or different platforms, and of course, sharing this video with someone else. Finally, you can donate through a link you will find in our website www.mindalia.com. By doing so, you help us creating more content like the one you have seen with us today. And having said that and feeling really, really grateful, we are ready to say goodbye for now until a next Mindalia live streaming. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.